Joining me now, Skye Perryman, President and CEO of Democracy Forward. Always good to have you on the show. So let's get into this, Skye. Your organization tried to prevent Trump from invoking the Alien Enemies Act. What is your interpretation of how this whole case played out last Saturday, and then the lack of answers provided to Judge James Boasberg when he asked about it?
This case is one that really should concern every single American, because you have the President of the United States seeking to invoke a wartime authority when we have no declared war, and seeking to remove people summarily from this country without any process whatsoever, and then using very politicized rhetoric to do so, to try to make people feel less safe here in the United States, when really the thing that's making us less safe is this use of wartime power to summarily remove people with no process. Alongside the ACLU, my organization, Democracy Forward, sued the administration because we believe that it's acting unlawfully and harmfully. A court last Saturday issued 2 orders, and the administration continued with its plans. We've seen them take to social media, almost flouting the court's order, intimidating the judge. And so this is really a highly concerning situation that we are in the middle of in district court here in this case.
So the government, as you know, has appealed some of the judge's decisions. An appeals court hearing is set for tomorrow. So where does Boasberg's case stand right now? Is he going to be able to get to the bottom of whether or not his order was violated? Because he's pledged to do that.
Of course, he's pledged to do that, and that's how the courts work. You don't get to skirt one court's order by appealing to another. You do get to appeal a decision, and that's what, of course, the government has done. And that's what the government should do, of course, if it feels as if, it needs to appeal. What you don't do is ignore a district court's order. And all the evidence that we have suggests that that's exactly what the government did. We know the vast majority of Americans in this country expect everyone to follow court orders. And so the judge will be able to get to the bottom of this, even with the appeal, because this is really about his own order and how the government has responded to it.
Look, you've got lawyers claiming that some clients who were spirited away to that El Salvador, supermax prison, have no criminal records. They may have been targeted merely because they had tattoos, and Donald Trump was asked directly about this. Let's watch and see the response.
And what guarantees can you give them that everyone in those planes were actual criminals, terrorists, as you said?
Well, I was told that they went through a very strong vetting process. We don't want to make that kind of a mistake.
Mr. President, do you think you have the authority, the power to round up people, deport them, and then you're under no obligation to a court to show the evidence against them?
Well, that's what the law says.
So, look, he claims there was thorough vetting, but if that was the case, why didn't his lawyers present that information in court?
You know, this is just how this administration wants to operate. It wants to hide and deflect from the American people what is going on here. If the president and the administration are confident that people who were removed from the country needed to be removed from the country, they could go through the lawful process that we have in this country to remove people. But you don't summarily invoke a wartime authority, send people out without process, do it as a federal judge is ordering you to turn planes around, and then just try to claim that you had the authority to do it all along. So I think that what you see is the government's strategy here is really to deflect and to try to avoid accountability for its actions.
So let's go back to the president's response. He thinks the law says he can round up anyone and disappear them to a jail in another country. Is that your understanding of the law, Skye?
It certainly isn't, but it is our understanding of how the president is operating and how this administration is operating should concern every single American in this country, because there's really no stopping point to what they are claiming to do. This is a country of laws, and the president, of course, is also bound by those laws, as is the administration, and they require for fair process. This is something at the heart of the American system of government. You remember one of our founding fathers, John Adams, famously represented clients, British soldiers in the Boston Massacre, when that was unpopular, just because in this country everyone is required to have process. The government and the president is really ignoring that here, and it's something that's detrimental to all of us as Americans, not just to the individual families and communities whose loved ones have been removed.
Skye Perryman, it's always good to talk to you. We'll see you again soon. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Next.